Hey everyone, I'm Gigas and welcome to the Influencer Marketing Agency course, and in this course you will learn everything you need to know on how you can start and scale your influencer marketing agency. I've been running an influencer marketing agency myself for over a year now and I've gathered a ton of experience. Also, I run few social media channels with over 500,000 followers and I did hundreds of brand deals, so I know how this niche works. So let's get started. So I just hopped on the Miro board and let's look at the goals. So after this course you will be able to earn $5,000 in less than a single month. Also, you will understand that 24 billion market is growing to $85 billion just in 5 years. So that's an insane growth, and also you will learn all the full agency setup step by step. So let's get started. So first is influencer marketing landscape. The current market value is 24 billion and in 5 years it's expected to reach $85 billion. So that's an insane jump. Also, brand spends $100,000 per month and influencers earn $10,000 every single day. That's an insane amount of money you could make. So moving on, what is an influencer marketing agency? So basically you are the Uber. No cars, but you connect drivers with riders. Also, same example as Airbnb. No real estate, but you connect hosts with guests. And the influencer marketing agency works as no in-house creator, but you connect influencers with brands. So as you can see, they all have correlation. You are the middleman between a deal. And now let's move on to the third step, which is quick revenue model. So influencer John charges $10,000 for a single video. So the brand pays him $10,000 and you as the middleman, you earn to 20 to 30% out of each deal. So for example, you make $2,000 to $6,000 per single deal. So you can see the earning potential of this business. Then moving on to the core services. So first one is talent management. So you can represent influencers and take percent out of each deal. Also, you can do one-time collabs, which is pitch a single integration and then via email, just a quick turnaround. And the last one is full campaign management, which is end-to-end strategy, outreach, analytics, and 10 to 30% fee. Now let's see how you can start your own agency. So first you need to define your niche. First you need to choose between a broad and narrow audiences. So for example, a broad audience could be a cooking and also a lifestyle. But if you want to pick a narrower audience, it could be a skincare, vintage cars, or even vegan recipes. Also, what I would choose is probably tech because there are a ton of AI startups that need influencer marketing. So if you pick a niche, just always focus on that niche. Don't change your niche. And if you think that you chose the wrong niche, you have to create a new agency and start all over again. And what I would also suggest is that you need to pick a niche that you know about. It should not be a random niche. So now let's move on to the network growth. As you know, you need to reach out to brands and influencers to work with them. So first you need to reach out to brands. So research what brands you want to work with, capture their budget, goals, and add everything to a sheet because it's very easy to get influencers working with you, but it's very hard to get a brand to work with you because influencers want to earn money, but brands don't want to spend money that much. So first you need to get some brands. I would suggest reaching out to the Instagram and LinkedIn to get them, but you can also do emails. It really depends on you, what you would choose. Everything works. Next, influencers, you have to collect their media kits, rates, and track everything also. You can add them to the Google Sheet, you can track everything in Notion. It does not really matter. You just have to pick an app where you can store all your information. So you will not get lost of the count of influencers that you work with and also the companies. Me, myself, I put everything into Notion. So that way I'm organized and I know everything. So first, moving on to the outreach and qualification. So first, a trigger. Brand inquiry or influencer list ready. So when you have everything ready in place, you can start doing the work. You need to do discovery calls and emails. So budget, audience, KPIs, you need to get all those things. Now moving on to the short list. When you reach a company out, you can offer them a short list of influencers that you work with. So you present 10 to 30 influencers to the company. And if they agree to go with a video, you can sign off approvals, contracts, and ship products if it's a physical deal. But if it's in just AI tool, there's probably not going to be any shipping because the tool itself is on the internet digital. Then moving on to the execution. So creative posting and approvals. So when everything goes through, the influencer posts the video and you earn money from that. So now let's see a 40-day campaign example. So on day 1 and day 2, you need to identify the brands and send LinkedIn and email outreach. So you have to find the brands, send them outreach, and hopefully they will reply to you. And what I would suggest when writing an outreach message, always use hooks, because outreach messages without hooks are doing nothing. So for example, what hook I use, it could be anything, like just something that would caught their audience. You can write, "Can I be honest?" and then continue with what you want to say to them. You can say all sorts of things. You can type 1 million, just single line 1 million, then make a lot of enters and then just write what you wanted to say, because that hook will capture their eyes. Next is day 3 to day 5, you need to gather requirements, shortlist. So everything that company needs and you need. So you need influencers, company needs your list. Just do everything that. On day 6 and day 10, you can negotiate rates and finalize the deal. You can have calls with a company, you can negotiate the rates, the influencers. You need to decide on a cut with the influencers from the video. And then when everything goes through on day 11 and day 14, you sign the contracts, so logistics are set if you are shipping a physical product to the influencer. And on day 14, the content creation, analytics, payment. So for example, a company paid $10,000 and you receive $3,000 just by being a middleman. But imagine if they want to do free videos with the same influencer, so that is almost $10,000 for you just by finding one influencer and one company. Now moving on to the legal and finance. So use simple clear contracts, so agency fee and payment terms. You take a cut out of each influencer, so you should write a contract with the influencer. Also, you need to do some invoice templates, so you can do them easily. Just go on Google, search invoice templates on Google, and you will find a ton of them. There are even invoice generators online, so it's pretty easy. And last is company setup basics, so that's also pretty easy. And the last step is scale your agency. So you need to build case studies to showcase wins. So when you help at least one company, you can use that to your advantage. So when you're pitching a next company, you can say, "I've helped that company to get these results." So they will want to work with you more. Also, you need to automate outreach. So if you, for example, if you know how if you know how AI automations work, you can automate your outreach. So you will not have to even lift your finger to outreach to companies and influencers. And next is upsell. So you can start PR, modeling, sponsorship services, and everything else. And the last one is you can plan advanced course or starter pack for leads. So for example, you can start teaching your influencers how to get the deals themselves. So it's another product and it's a course, but it's not necessarily just an random example on how you can scale even more. And if you want to work with me, just comment on this video and I'll make sure to hit you up and we can build your agency together.